today is our Future of Coaching session, and it's a bit of a longer one. So please get comfortable for about 90 minutes, not 60. And Tracy and Ram will take it away. So I'm going to, noise. I'm going to go.
Thanks, Magda.
Okay. Tracy, you want to start with something? And I follow what you want to do.
Well, I think you're going to take us through a meditation, which I'm very much looking forward to today, because I think I need a second one. Mm-hmm. So, and then we'll do some questions and answers after that, if there is time. Wonderful.
Yeah. So what I'm planning at this point is this, that, I'll just explain briefly what the meditation is about. Probably doesn't take about 5 to 10 minutes. And if after that, if you have any questions, please do ask. And after that, the meditation itself will take roughly about 40 minutes. And so if after that, if there are any questions, Tracy and I will stay on and answer those questions. So it's really up to people for how long they want to stay. Let me start with this. Everybody thinks that meditation, the way that people talk about meditation, you just close your eyes and the senses will stop functioning and you would be in some kind of nirvana, some paradise, or whatever it is. Contrary to that, if you've ever been a serious meditator, and if whoever you know is a serious meditator and who's authentic, honest about their experiences, it's not quite that. When you start meditating seriously, all the garbage that you have within you tends to come out. When you close your eyes and perhaps sit in a soundproof room, or even if you're in a zero gravity space, what you're avoiding is the external noise, for sure. But there is so much of noise that is built up in you, that noise will keep reverberating for a long, long time. And initially, for quite some period of time, for anyone who's engaged in meditation, that process is going to happen. If anybody says no, I would just say that they are being dishonest. I have taught meditation for now, I don't know, perhaps about 30 plus years, and practiced them very, very intensely through some really esoteric, exotic practices for about 10 odd years. I'm not saying that I'm any kind of a master. I'm still a very much of a learner. So it is just about now, after so many of years practice, that I'm able to reach for brief moments of time a space which might be called free of disturbances. Even that I wouldn't say is free of thoughts, because thoughts are always there. As long as you are living in this body, you are in body and mind, what they call sentient beings. Your sensory abilities are still pretty active. You're not dead, only then it'll be flatliner. And you would have some noise coming, but that noise you disengage from, you detach. So meditation is essentially a process where you detach yourself from the mind, body, and the senses. So in yoga, there's an eightfold path. I leave aside the first four. Most of you are probably familiar with the third and the fourth, which are about the postures and the breath control, which help towards preparing our body to move into a space which is comfortable, leading to meditation, which is the last 4 steps of the yoga practice. Just as a brief introduction, the Bible for anything to do with yoga and for meditation is what is called the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, roughly about 200 verses. And there are very few details there. It is only a general explanation of why you need to practice not so much how you need to do any of these practices. So the postures, which are called asana in Sanskrit, all that Patanjali says is it must be firm and comfortable. For a long time, I didn't really understand what it was about. So I first started to mean that if I can sit in a comfortable posture, that's it. And if I'm firm, so I can't really fold my legs properly, or I can't do some particular difficult position, whatever it is, I will do what the best I can. And that's not it at all. It's about you have to keep practicing it till with a really, really trained instructor who is well versed in this. Fortunately, I have one now after several years of search, where ultimately in that posture you become comfortable. So if you cannot sit in what is called the lotus posture, where you cross both legs and it's a complicated posture of where the heel of one comes on the thigh of the other and vice versa on the other. Even now, I can't really get it done, but halfway through. But I need to be comfortable in that posture and firm before I have really reached the purpose of what that posture is, which is to prepare the body and train the mind through the control of breath at that point in time as a combination, to be able to ready to move into the next stages. How do I gradually focus myself first on each of the senses and disengage from them, and finally focus on a thought, eventually to disengage. It sounds very contrarian, that how do you focus on a thought to be able to disengage? But that's the only way to do that, because otherwise you have multitudes of sensory and thought impacts on you. As I say, 50 billion bytes or bits per second or minute, whatever the count is, unbelievably large. Whereas we can handle probably a minuscule fraction of that. Even that is very difficult for us to cope with and store in our memory baggage. So for us to, in a sense, converge it down into a very, very narrow inlet first, and then disengage from whatever happens within that narrow space, is what comprises the last three steps of yoga, which are in Sanskrit called the dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, which are about focusing the senses and disengaging from the senses, focusing on a thought and disengaging from a thought, and finally detaching oneself in a witnessing state, at which point in time you truly start realizing that you're more than your mind and body, that you are in an energy state, and that is what is normally referred to as a non-dual state, where you truly find your original source. And that is what is the meaning of the last stage of yoga, called samadhi. In Sanskrit, translated, it means the same as the source. So you reach that source, so you're one with the source, and therefore you are pretty much recognizing that you are part of the cosmic energy. So this is a very brief introduction. At this point in time, if there's anything coming up in the chat box, if you have any questions, I'll answer before I take you through the process, and I will briefly describe that. Anything that's coming up, Tracy?
There was one of the participants had said that she's new to meditating and was concerned about jumping in for 40 minutes for the, early on in the practice, if that's a good first step. So I mentioned that it is guided, but I just wanted to flag that.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to each person's comfort. If they believe that they can handle it, they can handle it. If they don't want to handle it, they don't have to handle it. So it's like a simple thing that I say: if you can bear the heat, stay in the kitchen. If you don't, move out of the kitchen. So it's not about whether 40 minutes or 5 minutes. So, I mean, if you can sit in meditation for 5 minutes, you can sit in for 50 minutes. So it's, as they say, the mind is a monkey. And whether you sit for 5 minutes to tame the monkey or 50 minutes to tame the monkey, it doesn't really make that huge a difference. So I will briefly go through the process of what we are going to go through. The first step, I would be taking you through of being aware of your posture. These are stages of awareness. how you are sitting. So I'll guide you through that. The second step after that is to be aware of your breathing. The third step is we would create a body awareness in terms of sensations from top of the head to the bottom of the spine. And then there's energy awareness going up from the bottom of the spine, where the energy body in the individual body mind rests to the top of the head. And these are the four states of awareness: posture, which is about body, in the sense of how you place your body. The second is the breath, and the third is in terms of sensations in the body. And the last one is about the energy. And from there, I'll take you through, this is the first half of it, as it were, and the second half of it is where, at that stage of where you would be, through the guided meditation, reach some kind of awareness of your energy state. Focus yourself on your heart space, and I'll take you through three parts of the meditation. The first one is what I would call as elemental meditation, that we are made of the five elements of earth, water, fire, sky, and the space, as it were. And this is in terms of creating an awareness of that. And from there, moving into an expansion state, which in the Buddhist terminology is called the metta meditation, which is about love and compassion. So the first one is about really going through this process of the elemental meditation, which gets rid of basically the fear of losing oneself, even the fear of death. It is something that you can practice to get out of that fear of losing anything at all, actually. And from there, you move into a space of fear, anxiety, stress, and so on. It's extremely powerful for those. And then from there, moving into love and compassion, how from the heart space you expand into the universe. And finally, acceptance and gratitude, which is the last stage of the meditation. So probably it'll be about 40 to 45 minutes. So join me in this. So at this point in time, what I would request you to just follow me in terms of whatever I request you to do as part of the guided process. So if you're sitting, wherever you're sitting, if you're not sitting on the floor, if you're sitting on a chair, hopefully I think it's a straight back chair. So if you can place your feet firmly on the floor, with your feet slightly spread out in front of you, so that the feet and the heel are a bit in front, a few inches, 6 to 9 inches in front of your knees. And the way that you're sitting, I hope that your knees are lower than your hips. If they are not, if you might like to put a cushion somewhere and sit on it so that your knees are lower than your hips. And from there, from the tailbone onwards, you are erect. Rest back without slouching either forward or backward, with your body completely from the lower back to the mid back to the neck completely erect. Just tuck in your chin a little bit so that you are looking straight ahead, and please close your eyes. So please close your eyes with your body, with your feet firmly placed on the floor, with the feet slightly ahead in front of your knees, about 6 to 9 inches. And from the tailbone onwards, your spine is erect and the neck is tucked in and your eyes are closed. Keep your arms either on your armrest of the chair or your lap, with the first two fingers coming together in a circle, the index finger and the thumb. Now tense your body as much as you can from the tip of the toe to the top of your head, and hold it for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax completely, relax completely. As you tense, please inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale and relax, exhale and relax. And one last time, inhale deeply and tense your body from head to toe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax completely, relax completely. So in this completely relaxed state, breathe deeply, inhale deeply from below your navel, below your diaphragm, as deep as you can. Inhale, and as you inhale, your belly should pull up, push out. And hold the inhale breath for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale very slowly in pulses, very slowly. Exhale, hold, exhale, hold. For about twice as long, thrice as long as you can. And when you have completed your exhalation, hold the exhale breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And inhale again. So repeat this cycle a few times. Inhale deeply. Your stomach should push out. And hold your breath for a count of 5. Exhale very slowly in pulses for as long as you can, slowly, gently. At the end of the exhalation, hold your breath. If you're not able to hold it for 5, hold it for less. But just hold your breath for a few moments at least after you have inhaled deeply. Similarly, after you exhale, hold it for a few moments. Inhale deeply at your own rhythm. Hold. Exhale deeply in pulses, slowly and gently, till it's completed, and hold. As you inhale, visualize that you're inhaling the energy of the universe, the cosmic energy, the energy that sustains you, the nature energy that sustains you. As you hold your breath, visualize that it is spreading to every part of your body, every cell of your body. And as you exhale, visualize that you are expanding outside of your skin, outside of your mind and body, into the space of energy outside, which is the same as energy inside. And finally, when you hold, you become one with that outside energy. So as you inhale and hold and exhale and hold, visualize that you are inhaling the energy of this universe, allowing that energy to spread to every part of your body. And then as you exhale, you are expanding beyond your skin, the mind and body chamber. And finally, you are one with energy. Just do this a couple more times. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale slowly in pulses. And hold. Do the cycle one more time. Inhale deeply. Hold. And exhale slowly. And hold. Continue to follow the cycle, but without focusing on it. And shift your attention now to the top of your head. Please continue to breathe the same way, inhaling, holding, exhaling, and holding. But your attention now shifts from the breathing, awareness which is happening on its own, to your body, to the top of your head, and observe whatever sensations may arise at this point. It may be the skin tightening a bit. It may be something shifting. It may even be the blood pounding from below, a scratching, a crawling, a tickling, whatever the sensation is. Just observe it, nothing more. Be an observer, a witness. And if you're not feeling anything at this point in time, it doesn't matter. Just observe that nothing is happening. Eventually, as you practice it more and more, you will start experiencing the sensations as they happen in different parts of your body. Slowly and gently shift your awareness to the middle of your forehead, between your eyebrows, the third eye position. And again here, focus your awareness to feel any sensations that you may experience. It may be a throbbing, a tickling, a crawling, any movement, whatever it is that you experience. Just observe and witness and note it. Don't stay with it. And if you're not able to experience anything, that's okay too. Eventually you will. Slowly and gently move your attention to your throat area, the Adam's apple. And here, once again, see if you can experience any body sensation. Could be a throbbing, the moving of the Adam's apple up and down. It could be a pulsing, it could be a crawling, a stretching, whatever it may be. And even if there is no sensation that you experience, that is fine. Slowly and gently move your attention down to your heart area. And in the heart area again, look for the sensations that you are experiencing, observe it. It may just be the beating of your heart. It may be the pulse. It may be as if the blood flow you can notice. It could be a throbbing. Whatever it is that you're able to experience, that's good. And even if you're not able to experience anything, that's fine too. The purpose is to make yourself aware of that part of your body. Slowly and gently move your attention down to your navel. And as you watch this space, you may experience some churning, some throbbing, some movement up and down, forward and backward. Whatever it is, just notice, observe, witness. And if nothing, that's okay too. And move on down to the lower abdomen area. And as you place your attention there, look for any sensation that you can experience. It may be movement of the skin, it may be a tickling, it may be a throbbing. Whatever it is that you experience, or even if you're not able to experience anything at all, that's fine too. And now slowly and gently move your attention down to the point where your thighs meet your trunk. It's called the perineum region, the bottommost point of the spine. And then place your attention there. And try and experience whatever sensation that you might be able to feel there. Maybe a constriction, maybe a contraction, maybe a stretching, it may be whatever that experience that you feel at that point where you place your attention. And if you don't feel anything, that's fine too. This is the space, the bottommost point of your spine that we have journeyed down from the top of your head, which is the uppermost part of your brain. And this is where the internal energy resides. at the bottom of the spine. Now visualize, whether you believe it or not, whether you have the energy, whether the energy is stored there and what it is. Just visualize a beautiful ball of energy, light energy, of any color that you choose, emerging at this point, the bottommost point of your spine, where the thighs meet your trunk. And as you watch, this ball is growing in size and is radiating beautifully, a wonderfully nurturing light, which is calming, which is healing, which is gentle, which is nourishing. And even as you watch it at this point, it is growing and growing, bigger and bigger. And soon it envelops your entire mind-body system, the entire body space, with its center at this point, at the bottommost point of the spine. Allow it to float. Visualize it floating, this beautiful ball of energy, to your groin area, and it keeps expanding. And from here, let it float gently up to your navel area. The center of this beautiful light energy ball is at your navel area, and it's growing. And feel the calming effect, the healing effect, the nourishing effect, the cooling effect of this gentle energy that's radiating from you, inside out. Allow this beautiful energy to move up to your heart center and radiate from there. The center of this beautiful ball of light energy is in your heart center, and it's still expanding. Slowly and gently, allow it, visualize it to move up to your throat center, growing from there to your forehead, the middle of the forehead, the third eye center, and now to the top of your head. The center of the light ball is in the top of your head. It envelops a much larger space than your body, much larger than your body. With this awareness of the energy of your own being, visualizing this energy, allow this ball to center in your heart. Move down and center in your heart, and you focus on your heart space. And as you focus on this, on your heart space, with the full awareness that you are now an energy being, visualize that you are walking with the energy ball surrounding you, out of wherever you are sitting, into the space outside, the room you are in, the apartment that you are in, the house that you are in, and perhaps even the neighborhood that you are in, into a space where you can feel the earth under your feet. And visualize that if you're wearing shoes, that you're discarding your shoes, you're walking barefoot on this earth, feeling the earth beneath your feet. And as you walk through this earthen path, you see an opening in the earth, going down, and without hesitation, take that path and walk into that earth, the element of which you are made, which is part of you. Allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into this earth, into its darkness, covered on all sides, as well as from the top. You are going into something like a mine shaft, deeper and deeper and deeper into this earth, with absolutely no fear, because that's part of you, that's part of your energy, that's part of your elemental energy. And keep moving comfortably. In fact, with each step, gaining more and more energy, with awareness that you're not just this mind and body, you are energy. And as you walk through this earthen path, deep inside the earth, deeper and deeper as you go, you are now encountering water beneath your feet. And walk into this water. And soon you are surrounded by water completely. And you are floating with your entire body immersed in the water, with absolutely no fear, with no difficulty breathing. Completely comfortable with this elemental energy of water, which is what you are. 80% of your body space is this water. And you are floating through this water. Allow yourself the freedom, the courage to walk through this water the same way as you walk through the earthen space. Slowly and gently, walk further, and you come into a space of fire. Without fear, allow yourself to walk through this fear, the fire, with no fear or anxiety. And it's part of your energy, you are part of that energy space. It protects you, nurtures and nourishes you. And walk through this fire with no discomfort, with no fear, with full confidence. And now you are out into an open space where you are floating, you are flying, moving up, up, up into the darkness of space. There is nothing to be seen, and yet you're completely comfortable in this space, as it's your elemental energy. As you are now in this space, still centered in your heart space, but experiencing the deep outer space of this universe, feel yourself expanding far beyond where your mind and body is, far beyond the room, far beyond the house, far beyond the block, expanding beyond the city in which you are, the country in which you are, the continent in which you are, expanding over the oceans and the land masses, covering the entire earth as if you are encompassing the entire earth and moving beyond into the solar system, and then beyond into this galaxy and beyond into the multiverses. You're constantly expanding. Your energy is the same as that of the universal energy, which is constantly expanding. Just keep expanding and experience the love and compassion for all that is inside you, in your space of energy. Where everything in this universe is a part of you, and you are part of this universe. You are connected in this beautifully connected, nurturing space. Feel love and compassion. Stay in this space for a few moments. So in this beautiful space where you're floating as energy, in love, compassion, having conquered all fear, fully confident of yourself, and the fact that you are the energy of the universe and nothing is impossible for you, and you have the potential to be anything that you wish, and yet you are a part of this beautiful universe, and you accept whatever that happens within this universe, the energy of the universe. And you are grateful in that acceptance. So in this space, whatever it is that you wish to be, place that as an intent within you, offering to this universal energy with a full confidence that whatever that you wish, whatever the intent is, as long as it is serving you and serving all those around you, believe that whatever that you wish has already happened, and you will be realizing it very soon. And now offer your gratitude, not just to the energy, your own internal energy, and to the energy outside, but to everyone that you have encountered in this life, who may be here now or who may not be. Starting with your mother, who bore you for 9 months and created you, restored you, delivered you. Wherever she may be now, with you or not, whatever your relationship may be. Remember her with deep gratitude, with wonderful memories that you have of your mother. Remember your father, who along with your mother enabled you to enter this world. And whether he is here now or not, whatever your relationship may be, remember your father and your wonderful memories of him, loving memories of him, and offer your gratitude. Now remember all your siblings and very close relatives and friends, all those who have been responsible for being who you are today in one way or another, whether they are all here or not, and whatever your relationship with them may be. Remember them with deep gratitude and with wonderful memories of what they meant to you. Expand this gratitude to whoever in your life has been of any service to you, any value to you, even some with experiences that you may not have liked at that time and still help you to grow. Whoever it may be, pets that you've had, not just the people. Remember them collectively and if possible individually, and stay there for a while, remembering these people and the creatures, whether they are here or not, whatever your relationship with them may be. Remember them with the deepest gratitude. Offer your gratitude to yourself, your own energy, which is part of this cosmic energy. And this deep space of gratitude remember that whatever is the intent that you have created has already been manifested in the future and is available for you, for yourself, and it'll happen. And the gratitude that you've offered is for something that you believe is going to happen. It's also for something that's already happened in the future. With this deep conviction, stay in complete mental silence, detaching yourself from any thoughts. And if any thoughts arise, just allow them to appear and disappear. Do not follow them. Watch them as if you are watching the clouds in the sky, as if you are watching the leaves in the tree. Without getting involved, just observing and just witnessing. When you are doing it on your own, you can stay in the space for as long as you can. And feel the energy that's welling up in you and radiating from you. Very slowly and gently, lower your head, look down, and open your eyes. Thank you. Okay, so take your own time. We'll stay here for a while. If any questions come up for you, anything more that you would like to know in terms of maybe the process, maybe the way that you should be doing it, and so on, just put down in the chat so Tracy can let me know. And I can answer as best as I can. You can use this recording. It'll be put up in the YouTube. It's a very, very safe and simple guided meditation. And as I explained, it had elements of awareness of posture, of breathing, of the body sensations, of the energy that you are, the first part, and then the elemental part. Each of them you can do separately if you wish. The elemental part is really to become aware that you are really an energy being, and then you don't have to be afraid of any of the elements which sometimes appear to be your enemies. the earth swallowing you up, the fire burning you, the water drowning you, and so on. The more you do this, the less afraid you become. There's a meditation very often taught at very high levels to get over the fear of death. And from there, we move to the space of expansion, which is called the metta meditation. Metta means friendship in Buddhism. And it's about love and compassion and how do you relate with people. And it's extremely powerful meditation for getting rid of your own invalidation. One of the biggest problems most of us have is invalidation from past experiences and memories. And this creates insecurity, which in turn creates distrust with other people and a disengagement. And this meditation practice by itself as well would help you overcome that. And finally, the gratitude meditation. There are a number of scientific experiments that have been done which show that just being thankful for who you are and being thankful to others who have mattered in your life. Sometimes even those who you think have not done well for you. And if you're able to accept that and offer gratitude to them. So this part of the meditation, you can go through the blog that we have on Coacharya called the Ho'oponopono. It's very similar in terms of feeling ourselves responsible for whatever is happening around. Offering forgiveness first, and then love and gratitude for who we are, accepting what we are, which is the ultimate and the most powerful step in terms of our evolution spiritually. So I'll stop here, and any questions that you have. Don't stress yourself. You don't have to necessarily have everything answered at this point in time. You can post these questions to us at support@coacharya.com. And we can have one more session next time if there are sufficient number of questions on that in the future of coaching a month from now. We can address those as well, or anything related to it. Yeah. Tracy?
Thank you very much, Ram. I feel like I'm still in another world. I guess I am. There was a question about what the significance of pulsing while exhaling is.
Yeah, no, there is no significance as such. It is just to prolong the exhalation. The inhalation has to be very deep, and you inhale it in a normal sense. You don't have to accelerate it. You don't have to decelerate it. Just inhale deeply. And if you're really able to count at that point in time, it may be somewhere between 5 and 10. And then you hold for a count of about 5. And when you exhale, try and exhale about twice as long or thrice as long as you inhale. So if you inhale for about a count of, let's say, midpoint 7, try to exhale for 20. And sometimes we tend to exhale all at one burst. If you do that, then the exhalation will be over, and then you'll not be able to sustain it. So by pulsing, it is just slowing it down. So if you take a deep breath, so you do very slowly in pulses. So typically, what most people can manage without too much difficulty is to inhale for roughly a count of 7 and hold the inhale breath for a count of 5. Exhale for about 20. That is 7 plus 5, 12 plus 20 is 32. And maybe hold for 3, the exhale breath, 35. Start with that. Which means that in a minute, you have just about 2 cycles. And those of you who may have come across this book called Breath by Nestor, he recommends that you do 5 to 5.5 cycles. So about 12 seconds. So if you practice this, at least for about about 10 minutes a day gradually and expanding it, you will find that the rest of the day, your breath is pretty much in that 5 cycles space, 5 to 5.5, which is the most nourishing way of breathing, which is the most relaxing way of breathing. So essentially, this is for training yourself. Now, in many pranayama exercises, people advise you to count. I don't advise you to count, because once you start counting, then you're no longer aware of the breath. You need to be more aware of the breath than the counting. So these do not normally go together. Initially, maybe just to practice, you can check a little bit. There are times when I have checked by having a stopwatch to see how long my inhalation is, exhalation is, maybe a couple of times to check that out. But after that, it should be just by your feel in terms of doing it. But believe you me, it's very easy for anyone. With some practice, you would be able to extend it to 40, 45 seconds, sometimes even a minute. If you're able to do it for a minute, you're reasonably trained in that kind of a breath control. But I would say for most people, 30 seconds to 35 seconds, about 2 cycles a minute is excellent. And I have not deliberately done this. In another session, if people are interested, I can help you in terms of intoning the sound Om with absolutely no religious significance whatever, in terms of the 3 syllables and then the silence, which is A, O, M, Ma, and M, which if you practice over a period of time, you might be able to sometimes take it for as long as about a minute with some practice. So the reason for the pulsing is to expand that exhalation. And if you read Nestor, he gives you lots of scientific reasons as why slow exhalation is very good, and how the longer the breath cycle is, the more healthy you are. There's a lot of scientific evidence for this.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an excellent book. There's a question in the Q&A asking or commenting that at the time when there was visualization of being an energy globe encompassing everything with love and compassion, I had to rush out because I had to throw up. Never happened before. Then there was gratitude even as it all happened. And as I washed up, I felt so much gratitude, and it wasn't like I was out of meditation at all, like it all happened in a trance. Is there something that I need to know? I feel good now, just a shivering body.
Yeah, the only thing you need to know is no 2 meditations are the same. Tomorrow, when you do this meditation, you might feel completely different. And also, like you said, you may want to throw up and so on. These are things which do happen, which is what I said. There are a lot of internal garbage that we have stored which needs to come out. The meditation is essentially a healing process, which allows you to throw up and throw out stuff which is inside you. So bear with it, and it'll get better. That's all I can tell you from my experience. But many people complain, oh, thoughts overwhelm me, negative thoughts overwhelm me. Sure, because you have suppressed them all this while, and they have controlled you. And at this point in time, through meditation, you are really, in a sense, rejecting them, ejecting them, and they are coming out. So you just have to bear with it for a period of time. And still, if along with this, if you have any specific questions, you're more than free to sort of send out questions to support@coacharya.com. I'll be more than happy to respond to you. All I can say is I have been through every one of these experiences that you may have experienced. Not all of them have been pleasant to start with. And I have also practiced some of these chakra energization techniques in a slightly different way, which if you do it the way that we have just been through, it's extremely safe and positive. But in that process of how I damaged myself very, very badly. I nearly lost my eyes, and if I hadn't been careful, I could have gone bonkers. And this has happened to people. It's not something we trifled, played with, experimented. So, which is why, based on a fairly long years of experience and having worked with literally, I would say certainly at least about 10,000 people or maybe more, all that I have as collective wisdom is what this is. This is not perhaps the fastest route to, if someone says, hey, I want to have some kind of a trip or an LSD experience or whatever, that's not going to happen. Forget it. And that's not really what you want to have, not what you wish to want to have either. Those are extremely dangerous practices. So ultimately, what you're looking for, and which is what the purpose of yoga is, the very second verse of the Yoga Sutra, I'm now putting it together in a commentary meant for the modern age, as it were. It says it's about stilling the mind. That's all it is. Stop the movements of the mind. Because it's that movements of the mind through the senses which hold us slave to whatever the senses want us to be. Creates, when Buddha said, life is sorrow because of desires, that's exactly what he meant, because each breath is actually a desire for us to live, because each exhalation followed by an inhalation is because of the desire to live. If you don't have the desire to live, after the exhalation, you won't inhale again. And there are people who have evolved to such an extent that they decide, I don't want to breathe again in. That's it. So we're all far from that stage. But in terms of simple thoughts, we can disengage from them. We can still the mind, and it's certainly possible. Yeah.
There's another question. Can meditation help overcoming challenges in the tasks we are afraid to start, i.e. when we feel judged by others? If yes, how? Thank you.
Yes, it will. I mean, it's simply because when you talk about, look at those experiences, the challenges that you're talking about, where they are coming from. Very often they are from a feeling of insecurity, invalidation, feeling inadequate. Like Marianne Williamson so beautifully says, the fear is not about how inadequate we are, but about how powerful we are. I'm paraphrasing her, I don't know the exact words. So we have tremendous power within us and we don't realize it, and we are afraid to take that step. So the question is, what is it that is challenging you, and why is it challenging you? So what meditation does is actually, if you just keep the thought parked somewhere, and these are the challenges, and it is as if you're reaching out to the universe and saying, hey, you cannot prevent me from having challenges, because life is full of challenges anyway, and very often difficult challenges. But can you help me? Can you stand by me? Like that famous story about the footprints on the sand. For those of you who may not have heard about this, then there's this guy who's walking on the desert and said, Lord, I'm tired, I'm about to fall down, I'm about to die, please help me. And then when he was safe wherever he got to reach, and he said, I don't see another set of footprints, where were you all this way? He said, you damn fool, I was carrying you. And that's really what happens. The universe does carry you. You have to have that faith, you have to have that belief. And nothing lasts forever. Everything is impermanent in life, whether it's good or bad. The same way, you're not going to be happy all your life. You're not going to be joyful all your life, if that's what you're looking for. So the concept of what is called the bliss that you're looking for in a spiritual space is, it's neither pain nor pleasure. It's more or less close to a flat liner. So don't look for anything tremendously joyful at every moment. I'm going to be whooping with joy, or whatever the word is, howling with joy. That's not going to happen. You're going to be stable. And that's what is called stilling the mind. That may not appeal to a lot of people. So fine, if that doesn't appeal to you, you're going to have the peaks up and down. And we are up, you're going to be down too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the more powerful things for me to realize is it's the grasping at the the so-called positive emotions and avoiding the negative that has caused my own suffering. And I also wanted to mention that in the elemental meditation, the fire part was really, really powerful for me. Because I think it actually, what it brought up is when you said about us being afraid of our own power, and I felt like a huge resonance, I think, between some of the surges of energy that I get around emotions and being in that fire and how that's a part of life, really. So that was amazing.
There's a question on breath, isn't it? I see that now.
Yes, there is a question on breath about asthma.
Yeah.
And that is in the book that you mentioned, but is there anything, it says, I always struggle with breath work due to asthma. My chest is tight and restricted. Is there any way to help or overcome this?
Look, I'm 100% positive that if you practice meditation, the breathing meditation, breath awareness, that the way that we took you through, but do it within your comfort zone, because I don't know what you're, like, for example, I have a tendency to asthma. And my father was deeply asthmatic. My brother is. In family, it's a genetic kind of stuff. But my father used to practice breathing yoga for most of his life. And probably that's one of the things which also kept him. I'm not saying, of course, he needed medicine from time to time if it got too bad, but in general, it enhances lung capacity. So one of the good things to do would be to reach out to a good yoga practitioner who's also trained in some form of therapy. I don't know which country you are in, Madsen, from your name, possibly Scandinavia, I'm not quite sure, or maybe some other part of Europe or US. Like I have a person in India, we have a couple of institutions which are offering postgraduate and research degrees for people to be trained in yoga along with therapeutic focus. I've been deeply fortunate in locating one person like this. And then, so religiously 3 times a week now for the last couple of years. And I got him pretty late in my life and tried with various other forms of fitness work, which was useless for me. And this guy would do almost about roughly an hour of work, my wife and I do together, which is postural work. And then he would take us through various forms of breathing exercises. So there are some very specific breathing exercises which help expand your lung. So the technical term for it called Bastrika, which is a deep inhalation, holding it for a short period and exhaling it to the burst. So in the process of that, you really need to expand your chest, and there are others which support it. But I don't want to, I mean, these are not things which I would like to prescribe to anybody online how to do it. They have to be learned with someone. And today, fortunately, with the advent of Zoom, in fact, all our yoga classes for the last year and a half has been on Zoom, and it's still pretty effective. So the simplest suggestion that I have is, if you can find a good yoga teacher who's trained in therapy as well, and they would be able to help you. But at a simplistic level, yes, if you, to the extent possible, take a deep, see, very often our breathing is very wrong. I don't know why. I was taught from childhood that when you inhale, you have to suck in your stomach, which is stupid. It's the most idiotic thing that you can do. And I don't know, like people who are in army training and all that, this is what they make you do. inhale and tuck in your stomach. How the hell can you do it? Because while you're inhaling, you're taking in air, and the stomach has to bulge out. And when you're exhaling, the tummy has to move in as close to your spine as possible, as it were. And so if your breathing itself is wrong, then that is a good possibility. But otherwise, if you just inhale, like we just now did, maybe for a count of 5, 6, 7, 8 to 10, whatever you can, hold it for a brief period of time, exhale very, very slowly, and do this. Initially, you may not be able to do it for more than about 3, 4, 5. Don't stretch yourself. Just hold it for as long as you can. Just exhale for as long as you can. So gradually, you will find that your lung capacity increases. It all depends on your age, where you are, if you've been a smoker, multiple other kind of factors. So I can't tell you anything in detail. But if you want me to recommend you a person who can do it on Zoom, I can. I mean, making a disclaimer, I don't get any kickback from him. So I do believe that he has helped me a tremendous lot. He actually came on this forum, and we did an hour and a half long kind of session with him. But this is something that you need to persevere. I'm sorry I take a long time to explain this, but it's extremely serious. And going back to the other, Stefano, you're saying you had asked, and I had asked that partly, in the task that we are afraid to start. Look, this is where, I mean, if you're already in coaching in some way, just apply whatever you have learned in coaching for yourself. Sit down and reflect what's really happening. I mean, we are so good in terms of learning the competencies and applying it to other people, and we forget to apply it to ourselves. So what is it that's really happening if you find challenges and if you're afraid, why are you afraid? What is it that is holding you back? What is that belief system? And where is that belief system coming from? And if you're saying that you are feeling judged by others, which is essentially what I'm talking about as invalidation, very often this is created by what we have experienced in the past. Very often, many people tell me their caregivers, maybe their parents, maybe their teachers, put them down and criticize them and so on. And so, fine, all that is true. But the fact is, every one of that, you can't keep blaming the past. You can't keep blaming those people who are responsible for it at a point in time. So you got to accept who you are now. You've got to reframe the belief systems and the memories that you have grown with. So there are multiple ways of doing it. And I would be quite happy if people like you, there are more people, we can just have one session totally just to address the issue of invalidation. If some people are willing to come on the panel with me and be the client and express what it is, I can try and work with you, because I have worked with a lot of people on invalidation. Certainly they have benefited somewhat. How much they have benefited would depend upon where they are. Okay, so any other questions, Tracy?
Yes. A question about exhaling through the mouth. A lot of meditations seem to suggest that. I myself prefer it to be natural. What do we know?
Please don't ever inhale or exhale through the mouth. It's the worst thing. If anybody tells you, that person doesn't either know yoga or doesn't know science, both. And read James Nestor. He tells you how harmful breathing through the mouth is. In fact, there's a whole chapter in which he said that he practiced exhaling. He and another friend of his practiced exhaling through the mouth for a week or 2 weeks or whatever it is, and they document each of the negative things that happen to them. So it's the simplest way to make yourself unhealthy is to breathe through the mouth, either inhale or exhale. Please don't.
I think we might have captured everything, Ram. I'll save a copy of everything just in case there's anything that we missed, but I believe we got to
Stefano says a dark father. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just saying, yeah, there's nothing that you can do about a dark father. or a dark mother or a dark teacher, dark anybody. You just have to let go that darkness from a Jungian perspective, that the shadow side, which is there. Yeah, you're old enough now, and what is it that you need to do to sort of validate yourself? A powerful way of doing that is practice, learn a little bit about positive psychology. By this book, Learned Optimism by Martin Seligman. It's beautiful, which is, I think, a very powerful cure for invalidation, where he talks about the ABCD technique, which is A for activating trigger, B is the belief system which activates it, C is the consequences, and D is the disputing that cycle of your beliefs which are driving you, and finally energizing. It's a great book. I usually suggest it to many people that I work with to go through, and it's helped them a lot. Just try it out. Okay, so yeah, if that's what it is, yeah, we can. Thanks, Tracy. So, okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for the patience. Many of you have stayed on. And if there are any questions, please do post it to us, and I'll be quite happy to take those questions and answer them when next month we meet again. Thank you. Bye. Take care. The book was, whoever asked, it is called Learned Optimism. Optimism. Can you just put it on the chat, Tracy? Learned Optimism by Martin Seligman.
Not sure if that's the spelling of his name, but there we go. Yes.
Yeah, Martin Seligman. Absolutely. Perfect. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye. So, yeah.